You're listening to Daybreak USA.
Hello, friend. Angie Austin here, along with John Rush. And John Rush has some fantastic topics today, the host of Rush to Reason. And we're going to talk about the college player who stood alone on the field while the rest of his team hid in their quote-unquote safe space. But we're going to start with some other topics, including 4,500 redactions in the Clinton FBI documents. Oh, boy, what's this about, John?
4,500 pieces of information came out, basically over 100 pages of interviews, and yet when you go and look at the actual documents themselves, they have redacted so many items in there, some pages are completely blank. Whoa. So there's basically nothing there.
All right.
It's unreadable.
It's almost like we're so numb now to these situations with these emails that they're so outrageous that we're just like, oh, it couldn't be this bad. Or I love how Podesta's been saying, and a lot of Hillary's people, including Tim Kaine, that we don't know if these emails are real that are being released by WikiLeaks, by the way. Well, hello, you can prove that they're not real by giving us the original emails then.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Well,
in this case, they are real then, or they would release something that shows differently.
The ironic thing here is the FBI wants to be transparent. I think they're so transparent there's nothing to see, if you get my drift. Some of these pages are literally completely blank. There is nothing on the page.
Interesting. All right. Iran is releasing a video. What's in the video?
They've got the hardliner. So the hardliners in Iran have released a video of Iranian-American businessman. It's the first time that we've actually seen him since last October. So it's literally been a year. And make sure I'm saying his name correctly. I think it's Samak, Namazi. I think I'm saying that right. So okay. Samak Namazi, and he's basically the son of a Iranian businessman. He's got U.S. citizenship, and we have just seen him within the last year. Looks like he's going to be charged by them for espionage, which most likely is some trumped-up charge they figured out.
All right, North Korea warning of nuke use. What's this about? That's not surprising. He's a scary man.
No, it's not. But yeah, the little dictator that I think Hillary Clinton wants to be like him pretty much. But anyways, that's a side note because she sort of dresses like him. But that's a side note. Yeah, Kim Jong-un. He's basically saying, "You guys have nukes. You're stationed off of our coast, and you know what? Before you get the chance to use yours, I'll use mine." That's really what he's saying.
All right, Hillary, so unpleasant that security did not want to protect her?
I have actually interviewed a gentleman that wrote a book that was on the inside of her detail and has written a book about how nasty and terrible she is and how poorly she treats all the people around here. So when it came to actually guarding her in the State Department, which, by the way, is typically a job that most Secret Service agents would love to be involved in, they had to go out and find all new agents that essentially didn't know how bad she was to put in the detail because none of the guys that have been there for a while, guys and gals that have been there a while, want to work with her.
Interesting.
She's just a nasty, nasty, nasty individual to work with.
One of my pet peeves is people who treat their quote-unquote underlings horribly because you have the power to do so.
Yep.
I just think it's a really strong sign of your character when you do that. It says something really about you as a person. All right, talk about this college player who I think he had a lot of courage to stand alone because boy, the team might just really be turning on him.
I agree. Connor Brewer is the name of the football player. Millikan University. They decided to have a full protest. They would stay inside of the locker room. They wouldn't come out onto the field at all. And so he faced a big decision in that, do I go out on the field all by myself or do I stay in the quote unquote safe space that all these college kids think they have to have now? Well, he decided to come out of the safe space, go out onto the field all by himself, took a stand for the national anthem, and you know what? God bless him.
It's interesting because it's obviously a completely different situation, but standing alone is difficult. At the bottom of the article, they show a bunch of people doing Heil Hitler, and there's one man in the crowd with his arms crossed, and it says, "In a world full of followers, to be the one standing your ground." It takes a lot of courage, and in this case, how strong the peer pressure from a football team is towards each other and the camaraderie, and to be the only one out on the field, that he's going to face some consequences from his teammates for that.
Very much so. And what that shows, and you're alluding to this, is that's the real leader of the team. I don't know the inner workings of that team. I've had many kids play football. I played football back in the day. You're correct. The peer pressure is fantastic on football teams, on any team for that matter. So for him to take a stand, walk out on the field all by himself, and basically turn his back, if you would, on the rest of his team that were staying in the locker room, that's the real leader of the team right there.
Absolutely. All right, John, your website?
RushToReason.com.
Thank you, friend.
Thanks. See you later.
All right, some entertainment now. Billy Bush exits the Today Show. Mrs. Trump defends her husband, and Robin Williams bikes for sale. His bikes for sale. It's kind of interesting that that's come up now. Ben Olson here with this morning's entertainment headlines. Hi, Ben.
Good morning, Angie. Here's what's happening. Billy Bush is exiting the Today Show following the release of a 2005 videotape with Donald Trump. NBC officially made the announcement yesterday, saying he will no longer be on the 9 a.m. hour. The former Access Hollywood host was suspended last week for his part in banter caught on tape with a current GOP nominee. The New York Post reported that Bush could collect up to $10 million in a settlement to pay out his 3-year contract. Melania Trump says the 2005 recording of Donald Trump making lewd comments about women isn't the man she knows. She told CNN's Anderson Cooper that she thought her husband's comments were inappropriate, but he doesn't bear all the blame. Kevin Can't Wait, the new sitcom starring comedian Kevin James, is a hit. The Freshman series got a full season order from CBS. The program is averaging more than 11 million viewers in its Monday night time slot. Also being renewed, MacGyver and Bull. Stars of Broadway showed up for Hillary Clinton. Comedian Billy Crystal hosted a fundraising event last night at the St. James Theater in New York City. The guest list included Sarah Jessica Parker, Hugh Jackman, Emily Blunt, Lena Dunham, Helen Mirren, Julia Roberts, and more. Dozens of Robin Williams' beloved bikes are up for auction. The late comedian's unique collection of bicycles are being auctioned off to benefit his favorite nonprofits. Bidding is online through paddle8.com through October 25th. Actor Luke Perry is on the cover of the latest AARP magazine, and as one Twitter user said, it makes a lot of people feel 90210 old. The former Beverly Hills 90210 star recently hit the big 5-0. I'm Ben Olson for Daybreak USA.
Thank you very much, Ben Olson for Daybreak USA. I muted myself to do a little sneeze there. A lot of sneezes this morning. Hey, coming up, a thief gets jail time for stealing Advil. Really? And then Putin. Yeah, Putin cuddling a kitten in a calendar. I hope he's wearing a shirt. I hate it when he goes shirtless. Then some filmmakers swim with crocodiles underwater. They dress in these special wetsuits that have scales. I think it's tremendously dangerous. The pictures are just crazy. And then 53 bags of cocaine inside what? A passenger. Ew, coming up.